A former Stanford University student has been convicted of rape after he was caught after a fraternity party thrusting into an unconscious girl behind a dumpster. Now, two people saw him doing so, and they stopped him, and then he attempted to run away, but they held him until police showed up and arrested him. Now, Brock Allen Turner has been convicted, and he has been sentenced. And the reason why he's in the news today is because his sentence is insanely short. In fact, he's only been sentenced to 6 months in county jail and probation. Prosecutors were hoping that he would get 6 years in prison, but of course that didn't happen. Now, a jury convicted him of multiple felonies, including assault with intent to rape an intoxicated woman. Two Stanford graduate students spotted him laying on top of the victim outside of a Kappa Alpha party behind a dumpster. When officers arrived, the woman, who is not a Stanford student, was completely unresponsive and partially clothed with a blood alcohol level 3 times the legal limit. Now, the judge who sentenced him is Judge Aaron Persky, and now there's a petition to get him recalled. During the sentencing, he said the following: "A prison sentence would have a severe impact on him. I think he will not be a danger to others." Okay, prison is supposed to have a severe impact on people. It's supposed to rehabilitate people, and also there's the punitive element to it as well. But another thing is, you don't think he's going to harm anyone? He's not a threat to society? He just raped an unconscious girl and then attempted to run away when he got caught.
So they're mentioning the graphic details of how he was caught, because to give you a sense of, it's not a debatable question. He was clearly raping her, according to the witnesses, right? And you've got your conviction here, right? And she was clearly unconscious. So that's the facts of the matter. Now, they say the low sentence is because of the reasons that Anna stated, and Turner's age and lack of criminal history. Now, let me tell you the reality. The low sentence is because he was a successful young white man going to Stanford.
That's right. 20 years old, was part of the swim team. He was expected to be an Olympian. And so you have an entire community of people behind him, supporting him and trying to make excuses for him. He is a rapist. No one asked him or forced him to do what he did. He did it on his own accord. And the fact that he's not really suffering the real consequences for it is ridiculous. So
now, of course, our critics are going to go nuts. You guys are making assumptions, etc. Now, let me ask you something. When we cover African-American stories and trials and etc., do you often get judges saying, well, I mean, to be fair, he was really young? No, usually it's actually when they're under 18. They say, he should be tried as an adult. See, look at what he did, rape. That is what an adult does, not what a child does.
That's right.
This guy's above age. He's 20 years old. But they say, oh, but since he's white, he's really young. You know, 20 is really young for a white guy. Imagine if now come on, man, even if you're a Republican or you're the deepest conservative there is in the country, imagine that they found a 20-year-old black guy, not going to Stanford, okay, poor black guy, rapes a white girl behind a dumpster, or any girl, okay, and they catch him in the act of raping her. Do you think the judge would say, well, he's young, he lacks a criminal history, and that, that the prison sentence might have a severe impact on him? No, you conservatives would be the first ones to say, goddamn right, it should have a severe impact on him.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Okay. In fact, you know, there's a story out about Tom Cotton, who's trying to make it easier for juveniles to be thrown in prison or jail or detention centers for things like running away from home, right? Do you think that Tom Cotton's thinking about people like this rapist when he's, you know, pushing for laws like that? Probably not. He's thinking about, you know, the minorities in society, the people that are in underprivileged situations. This is just, look, this is a heinous crime. And I'm not saying, oh my God, we got to really throw the book at him and he should be in prison for the rest of his life. No, I just believe that there is definitely a two-tier justice system, and we're not applying sentencing equally among people of all different backgrounds, whether it be their socioeconomic status or their race. Now, I want to read to you part of the victim's letter, and then Ashley Banfield did this on her segment as well, and I thought it was really powerful. We'll show you that video. But first, the rape victim said, you took away my worth, my privacy, my energy, my time, my safety, my intimacy, my confidence, my own voice until today. I'm a human being who has been irreversibly hurt. Now let's take a look.
It seems like that it might have had a severe impact on her.
But who cares about the victim? right? Who cares about the severe impact on her? Let's
Yeah.
take a look at Ashley Banfield reading another part of her letter.
I had dried blood and bandages on the backs of my hands and elbow. When I was finally allowed to use the restroom, I pulled down my hospital pants that they'd given me, and I went to pull down my underwear, and I felt nothing. I still remember the feeling of my hands touching at my skin and grabbing nothing. I looked down, and there was nothing. The thin piece of fabric, the only thing between my vagina and anything else, was missing, and everything inside me was silenced. I still don't have words for that feeling. In order to keep breathing, I thought maybe the policeman used scissors to cut them off for evidence. And then I felt pine needles scratching the back of my neck, and I started pulling them out of my hair.
Now, we share that with you because she did something very powerful. She read that letter for 40 minutes straight on TV, which is nearly unprecedented. And I want to applaud her for doing that because it was super powerful. So then you got a real sense of who had the severe impact. And so, look, again, I can't emphasize enough what Anna said. We're not looking for blood from this guy now, and we got to make sure he spends the rest of his life in jail. You know, and of course, he put on his own defense saying, no, at the time that we started intercourse, we were both conscious and we had both consented. That is not her recollection at all, right? But what we're saying is equal justice. If you're going to be decent and have mercy to some people, have it to all people.
Right.
If you're going to be super harsh and throw the book at some people, then be consistent about that. I mean, look at the assumption built into what the judge said. He said, I think he will not be a danger to others. Why? Why do you assume that?
Right.
If a minority had raped a young girl behind a dumpster, do you think that they would get the same assumption that they would not be a danger to others? You know they wouldn't. You know they wouldn't.